of that is, and so in the midst of that, so for me and for us religious folks and folks in the seminary, what does social justice look like as a spiritual discipline? And so part of it looking like a spiritual discipline for me is fundamentally connected to joy. Right? How will you have joy? And so for the young folks in this room who fancy themselves revolutionaries and deep prophetic theologians and committed to the liberation theology tradition, which all of us are, you know, Union does that to you. It tells you in orientation, you are a theologian. I hadn't really nailed down my class schedule yet, but evidently I'm a theologian now. Right? So part of what that does for us, part of what it says to us is that as a spiritual discipline is how do we have joy? Because my grandmama never had a third grade education and got more theology in her big toe than all the seminaries in the country combined. Said, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. And the world can't take it away. And so if you are doing this work in the face of evil, in the face of these the questions of theodicy, the challenge for us is how do we do it with joy? Meaning that if the work is not feeding you, then you're doing something wrong. If the work is not empowering you, I'm not saying you don't get tired. I'm surviving off of 3 hours of sleep for the past 50 some odd days. I'm not saying smoke too much cigarettes and drink too much coffee. So I'm not saying that I've mastered this thing. But what I am saying that when I am in the streets with babies who won't bow down, something happens to me. A quickening, if I might deploy a Pentecostal narrative. Right? Something happening, that something happens to me. I was born again in the streets of Ferguson. I was born again in that van, hearing those babies saying, we young, we strong, and we marching all night long. Right? There's a joy. And that joy has to be the way we encounter the evil, because if we don't deploy the joy, we evil.